Good day, everyone. How are we all doing? I believe we're good. So sorry I've not been able to post lately. I was under the weather. So, without wasting much time today, the topic before us is what? Solubility and then solubility curve, which is one major aspect in chemistry that student gets tested for in external examinations. All right. So, I'll be diving straight to what you need to know for your exam. Firstly, what's the meaning of solubility? When you hear the word solubility, solubility is just the amount of solute that is present in a solution. Just in case you don't know the meaning of what a solution is, whenever you have a solute like a salt, let's say sodium chloride, which is our common salt in the kitchen, and then you dissolve that salt in a solvent. The solvent, in most cases, our universal solvent is what? Is water. So when you put that salt inside water, the salt is called the solute, the water is called the solvent, and then the mixture of the salt and the water is what we now call a solution. So the amount of salt that is being dissolved now is what we call what? Solubility. The amount of salt present in a particular volume of solvent at a particular temperature is what we call solubility. Now, there's a clause at the end which talks about temperature. Temperature plays an important role when it comes to solubility. Generally, the solubility of solids tend to increase with temperature. It means that the higher the temperature, the more the amount of solute that tends to dissolve in the solvent. That should be one major point that should be written down in your notes. The higher the temperature, the higher the solubility. That said, basically in our examination, we would be told to calculate solubility in either grams, which is mass, or mole per dm³. So when you are asked to calculate solubility in grams, the formula you should apply is the mass of solute, then you divide with the mass of solvent, multiplied by 100 grams. So that's the formula if you are calculating solubility in grams. Now, if you are to calculate solubility in moles per dm³, the formula you apply is mass of solute over the molar mass of your solute multiplied by 1000 over volume. And when you're using this volume, the unit should be in centimeter cube. So these two formulas will come very much handy. Then thirdly, you should be able to convert between mass and mole. So we have a formula that says mass is equal to, or let's say mole rather, is equal to mass over molar mass. This is not a new formula to us. So this is what we have basically in this topic. With this, you'll be able to answer any question on solubility calculations. Now let's talk about the solubility curve. Now a solubility curve simply, it's a curve that shows the amount of solute that is present in the solution at different temperatures. So generally it's of this nature. So on one axis you have solubility, on the other axis you have temperature, which is usually in degrees Celsius. Your solubility can be in any unit, so it can be in grams, or it can be in mole per dm³. Remember, solubility can be in grams or in mole per what? dm³. So if you should have a curve of this nature, let's say, now if you notice the trend in this curve, you can see that what, as the temperature increases, we can clearly see that what, the solubility is also increasing. So let's say this is 10 degrees Celsius. Then let's take this point to this axis. Let's say the solubility here was let's say 2 grams. Then let's say this is 20 degrees Celsius. And then let's say the solubility at this point, you take it down. So the solubility here is, let's say, 4 grams. Let's say we have 30 here, 30 degrees Celsius. So we have 30. If you take this up here, this is where it touches the curve. Then if you take it to this axis, oh, my length is not as long, so let me increase this. So let's say the number here is, let's say this is 6, this is 8, and then this is 10. Remember, this is your solubility axis in grams. All right. So you can see that what, as the temperature increases, the solubility, which is the amount of salt that is being dissolved, is also increasing. This is generally how the solubility curve looks like. So let's say the salt we're talking about here is potassium triosonitrate 5. So if this is the solubility curve for potassium triosonitrate 5, you might now see a question that says, if this solution at 30 degrees Celsius is cooled to, let's say, 10 degrees Celsius, calculate the mass of KNO3, potassium triosonitrate 5, that would crystallize out. Now let's understand the concept of the question. Remember that at 30 degrees Celsius, the amount of salt dissolved inside the solvent is 10 grams. But by the time you cool the temperature from 30 degrees Celsius, have at the back of your mind that as you are cooling the temperature, the solubility decreases. So at 10 degrees Celsius, the amount of salt that would have dissolved, that would be dissolved inside, will be less than what was dissolved at what? 30 degrees Celsius. So what it therefore means that what, a certain amount of the salt will crystallize or come out of the solution. Remember that at this temperature, all the salts are inside the solution, they are dissolved. But by the time you reduce the temperature, some amount of the salt will have to come out. Why are they coming out of the solution? Because as you're decreasing the temperature, the solubility decreases. So some of the salt will crystallize out. So we need to know how to get the amount of salt that crystallizes out. If at 30 degrees Celsius, I have 10 grams inside the solution, and then at 10 degrees Celsius, we have just 2 grams dissolved inside the solution, it therefore means that what, 8 grams of the salt would have come out of solution. How did we get the 8? The shortcut you should just put at your head, in your head now, is what? You subtract the solubility at the higher temperature. You subtract the solubility at the lower temperature from the solubility at the higher temperature. So the mass of KNR that crystallizes out of the solution become 10 minus what? 2, which is 8 grams. This is simply the principle of how to interpret your solubility curve. To get the solubility at any temperature, you simply trace to the curve and then you take to this axis, you've gotten your answer. Then if you are asked to calculate the mass of the salt that crystallizes out, what do you do? When you cool the temperature from a higher temperature to a lower temperature, you trace those two temperatures to the curve, get the respective solubilities, then you subtract them to get the mass of the salt that crystallizes out. I believe this is super clear. Now, before we draw the curtain close, we're going to solve some JAMB problems on this topic. All right, now let's look at the first problem here, which says 12 grams of solid potassium chlorate were added to 40 grams of water. So this is our mass of your solute. So this was added to 40 grams. So this is the mass of water and heated to dissolve all the solid. So they heated the solution to a high temperature. As the solution cools, crystals of potassium chlorate started forming at this. So this is the benchmark temperature, meaning below this temperature now, the solubility of the salt would decrease. It means not all the salts now will be soluble below this temperature. Now, the solubility of potassium chlorate at 66 degrees Celsius is therefore Dutch. So what you simply do is you use your formula for solubility in grams. So solubility in grams, we said, is mass of solute over mass of solvent, then times 100 grams. So the mass of the solute in the question is 12 grams. So you say 12 over the mass of your solvent is 40 grams. Then you multiply by 100 grams. By the time you punch this in your calculator, that should give you 30 grams. So that corresponds to option B. So we can see solubility questions are quite easy.